Hey everyone, welcome back to Ashland Comics. Thank you so much for lending me your eyes and giving me your time. I truly appreciate it. This is X-Men number 6 by Hickman, Bafagni. I don't even know who this person is. And Go. I guess they can't even keep the same colorist, same artist. This is a flagship book. You can't keep. I don't like Lionel Francis Hugh at all. I've been a big opponent of his. Silva was on one issue. You got him for one issue. You couldn't keep him. Then, I wish you could see this, Irene. I've seen more sunsets than you can imagine, Raven. The collapse of all the things and the end of days. I have seen enough. Then why are we... I want you to listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you isn't going to sound believable, but I promise it's all true. Every word of it. Now, so we slingshot here to one of the Orcus, one of their space stations, and they're building shit, and it's whatever. Recognize this from House of X, Powers of X. They're building this forge. So this apparently all happens before the House of X and Powers of X, because this is now, not in the past. And you're gonna what are you talking about, Ash? Well, because this stuff all happened in House of X and Powers of X, but it's saying that it's now, but House of X and Powers of X is in the past. It's kind of confusing. So here they are, they're working on the Omega Sentinel, and we see this person walk in. Excuse me, Director, you called for a courier? I did. Do you know where Alia Gregor's lab is located? I do, Director. Please take this to her immediately. She's waiting on it. Special project, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that seems all innocuous. And we see a person walking through. Gregor, I got a DoorDash for you. Uber Eats delivery. She's like, okay, just put it on the side. Okay, and so walking away. And you're just like, okay. And now she's working on, recognize that? Looks like Nimrod. And then we get this stupid shit that we get all the time. Full page wasted to it. 2 full pages wasted to that. Then, plans. I have demands. Do you now? Is helping your fellow mutant not reward enough for you, Raven Darkholme? No, it isn't. I need more. Yes, I see that. But it's fair, I suppose. We have further demands as well. So they basically tell Raven that she can have Irene, which is... God, why am I drawing a blank on the character name? Oh, God, I hate doing this in the review. What's her name? The fortune teller that we just saw. Someone's gonna put it in the comments, and I'm sure I'm gonna think of it right after this video, but I'm just drawing a blank. Anyways, they're saying you can have her back if you do this job for us. So they sort of blackmail her in a way. Like they want her to plant the seed, which Raven should just do this anyway, right? Aren't all mutants united? And don't heroes not treat their friends this way? Like, oh, she's not allowed to exist because of her power to see the future. But she can exist if you do this one thing for us, which means she can't exist anyway. This seems all really crooked. Like, this is absolutely villainous. This is corrupt. It's vile. I hate Professor Xavier. I hate hating Professor Xavier. Then... the mission. So we're going off now on a mission, and this is, I don't know why it's then when it was now, and you'll see why. So we see this person walking through, planting the plant. Oh, that's right, because this, never mind. Yeah. So she's planting the plant, and Mystique, are you there? Now, if you read House of X and Powers of X, you remember this scene. She's walking through, and she gets discovered by the doctor, and then she gets blasted out the airlock. This all happened in House of X, Part of X. What we didn't see in that story was her planning the plant. So this is a little bit of insight of behind the scenes, things we didn't see, like, ooh, now presumably that plant will allow for a gateway that the X-Men can then just port to there anytime they want. And this is this trope that Hickman's been doing where I talked about this on the last issue, where they talk about the plan as it's unfolding. You plant your seed on this orchestration. We get what we want, and then you get what you want. And we both know what that is, don't we? Yes, Irene. And so then resurrection. So keeps going back and forth in time. Mystique's resurrected. Oh, there you are. Even knowing I could bring you back, a part of me dies every time you do. And he's said this before, every time people die. Actually, that's not fair for me to say, because this is another repeat scene from House of X. And he says, did it work? It did. You succeeded, and your sacrifice is not in vain, because they planted. So it keeps going forward, and Raven, Mystique, is like, she did what she was supposed to do. And they explained to her, well, since you died, we're not actually sure you completed your mission, yada, yada. You got to go back. So she does, and she takes the identity of this guard, which now we see now. We're back to now. And remember this from the beginning of the book. So this guard that we saw in the beginning was Raven the whole time. It seemed like boring, innocuous stuff, but see, Raven is delivering the Uber meal here. So we didn't know that at the time. So that's kind of neat. You're like, oh, hey, look, plot twist. And she gets a look, and it's like, oh, that's what they're doing. And she thinks about killing the doctor, but not. It's like, bad news. We took our shot and we missed. What happened? She's like, most of it's beyond my ken. But it looks to me that your belief that Nimrod comes from the mother mold is wrong. So she explains how she saw them building it, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, I did what I was supposed to do, and you bring her back. And now Magneto's like, that wasn't the deal, and all this stuff. And Charles tries to reason with her with bullshit logic. Raven, after all this time, after all the years of backstabbing your own kind in the back, after all the years of stabbing your own kind in the back, just to get what you want, after all that, do you really think that we can trust you? I want my wife back! And here's the record scratch moment. So just like last issue, where you get the moment of X-23 revealing that, nope, she still believes she's Wolverine, which, even though none of that bullshit happened for her to be Wolverine like before, because this is the more of a reboot, still the case. We have to also now know that Mystique is in fact a lesbian, and that's her wife. Yay. Of course. So still wondering if they're going to do the whole trans thing where she's Nightcrawler's father. That'll be interesting. And she will return, and you've earned it. So they're like, we need you to do this last thing. So again, Raven's like, I hate you, Charles. I've always hated you. Yeah, I hate him too, Raven. I've always hated you, but now I hate Charles even more than you. I don't know why I read this book, because everyone in this book is just, I hate. It's just fucking hate. This is a little bit of a clever story that Hickman's weaving here. That's kind of, hey, here's the uncut footage that you didn't see. And we get this voiceover now as Mystique is walking through this little garden thing. What I'm about to tell you isn't going to sound believable, but I promise it's all true. I want you to listen carefully, every word. So we've heard all this, and we see that she's talking that same scene, and she gives the prophecy. There will be an island, not the first, but the last. This place will seem to be hope for our kind. They will invite you in, lift you up, and then deny you the one thing that you want. Oh, they'll promise it to you. They'll do everything that they can not to honor their word because they're afraid, blah, 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 blah. And Raven's like, I don't understand any of this. And she's like, I know, but in time you will. It's like, and in those days to come, remember these words, bring me back. And if you cannot, if they will not, then burn that place to the ground. And so that's it. So, I'm stuck on the memoriam thing. I don't know what to say. Rest in peace. This is X-Men. It's just a bunch of vile people doing sinister things. Of course, not getting along with each other because evil never gets along with evil. And they make Raven the hero. And you say, well, what's wrong with that, right? Well, what's wrong with that is Raven murdered Moira in cold blood. And she didn't just do it. She burned her alive so that she could feel the pain. Her and her wife. These are vile, fucked up people. I don't have any sympathy for them. I want to see them all die. I want to see this whole island of Krakoa glassed. And it doesn't matter that this is a clever story. It kind of, there's some cleverness to it. I like the whole, I didn't realize that was Moira, Raven at first, doing her. That's kind of neat. But ultimately, what does this matter? Oh, she planted a thing. Oh, okay. They're not going to resurrect Irene. Oh, okay. Like, tension. Another $3.99 wasted. It's like, how many? Everyone keeps telling me, Ash, they're building up to something. Hickman's building up to something big. If I had all the Dawn of X books together, alongside House of X and Powers of X, there's over 40 freaking issues of comics. How many comics do I need to read before I get into something real and substantial? And most importantly, when I get something I care about. I don't care about any of this. It's a one-trick pony of cleverness that I go, ooh, but none of it is as cool as what was happening in House of X and Powers of X. The only book that's actually making me feel anything is Fallen Angels, and that book's going to go away. Anyways, that's not about that book. This book, 2 stars. The art is meh. The writing is it's almost like deceptive. It makes you feel like, ooh, look how impressive this is. I'm gonna pull this little trick twist you didn't see coming. But there's no real plot. It's just, again, it's more world building. It's more sleight of hand, smoke and mirrors, and then we're gonna go on to the next issue. And all of these X-Men issues are just little one-shots. He doesn't have to continue any story. He just on to the next magic trick. So if you're liking it, there's a good chance you are, because so many people are. I feel like I'm in the minority. Good for you. I can't recommend this book. So I do appreciate, though, you watching, hearing my opinion, even if it's very different than yours. It's all good. That's one of the natures of comics, right? We don't always have to agree. There's so many different comics, and some people gravitate towards different things. The subjective, nature of it all. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.